Toro makes some pretty amazing lawnmowers, but they've moved into a whole new realm with this $1,700 60 volt 21-inch heavy-duty lawnmower. There is a ton of quality in this. This is something you've never seen before. Stick around. Toro has a long history of making some really high quality lawnmowers, and when they came up with this design, they knocked it out of the park. Now the price reflects it, but you have an amazingly built lawnmower here with an alloy aluminum deck here. This, if we flip it up, has steel sliders, so if you rub against either a curb or you're up against a tree, you have a steel slider there. You have clear ball bearings inside these wheels. These wheels are tall and they are also rubber on the top, actual rubber. This is not a plastic wheel by any means. You have your drive wheel, which is in back. There is a little bit of resistance here. While you're pushing this mower, you can push through that resistance, and it's not very noticeable, not like it is here. Once you move both tires at the same time, there's less resistance, but this thing is very amazing. The 60 volt battery that is in here powering it sits right up front. This is a 7.5 amp hour battery. It comes with two of them and a 5.5 amp charger. So that's your fast charger. That battery will recharge in 75 minutes. Your cut height, right down at the bottom, it is labeled 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inch, 2.5, 3 inch, 3.5, and 4. You have to adjust each tire. You just move these levers here to the corresponding height that you want. Everything works together. It's sort of old school, but when you look at how it's put together, that is beefy and it's not going to wear out. Even the bagger attachment in the back, this is a steel plate. So if you're going to put your bagger attachment on, you lift up this plate, you take out the internal mulch kit that's in there, the recycler plate, drop this guy in, and you're ready to bag. This mower gives you two options as far as speed. It gives you an auto, which will vary the speed up and down depending on the amount of grass that you're going through and the resistance that the motor feels with the blade, or you can just turn it directly to its max, which will keep the mower at its highest speed. You're going to get your best cut at the highest speed, but you're also going to have probably less of a battery life per se. Now Toro rates this lawnmower at doing a 0.4 of an acre. Now we went through and did that test complete, and we got 17 minutes of runtime cutting to a 3.5 inch cut. We are probably mowing 5 to 6.5 inches of lawn. So we're going through, again, one of probably the taller cuts. This unit was working at its max most of the time, although I did have it on auto, and it really only would lower down in speed as I made the corners. So with that, we got 17 minutes of runtime and well over 1/3 of an acre with that. So it was pretty easy to go through and see that in Toro's experience with normal cutting, you could at least get 0.4 of an acre without an issue. Now to start this unit up, you pull this bale handle back and you push down on this button. That's the noise you'll hear when it's on high. We can set it to auto. You can hear it come down a little bit. Now our self-propulsion is done with the bottom. The further that you pull this handle in, the faster it will go. Now, one of the downsides that we did find is you have to have the blades going in order for the self-propulsion to work. So once you're out of battery, you just have to push this guy around. And while this is a heavier mower, it does roll very easy. With the mower tipped on its side, you can see our self-propulsion system here. That's a cable-driven tensioner unit. It's got a belt that is driven from the motor. So the harder you squeeze that, the tighter the belt gets, the faster everything moves. Now you can see here, this is a blade based off a gas mower. I have not seen, other than maybe some other Toro models, a blade this thick on an electric mower. it simply cuts and works. And the lift on it is also something we don't see on most other battery powered mowers out there. Of course, I'm going to go back to, this is a $1,700 mower, but this is something that's going to push other brands to come up to this same level, and being able to cut 0.4 tenths of an acre is significant when you're swinging this heavy blade and creating the vacuum. So if you need to do some bagging, you can be sure that this is going to not only suck every piece of grass up, but it's also going to fill that bag and pack it like you can't imagine. Now in our test in bagging, we have not had any other battery operated mower come anywhere near to packing that bag that full. In fact, the front wheels get light and you simply have a ton of grass in that bagger. But in the bottom you can see different areas where they're forcing the grass around, so you get a good cut, and that's something you don't see on a lot of other even expensive battery operated lawnmowers on the market. The amount of upsides to this mower are tremendous, but there are a few downsides to how Toro built in the sturdiness of this mower. Flat out, you have an amazingly sturdy deck that is going to be just completely stiff, which is great. It makes it a little heavier than what you might find in some other mowers, but what they did to kind of help everything go with that is bolt these handles directly to the mower. You have a solid feeling, and there is a bolt that runs through the bottom, and then you have 3 different adjustment areas, and there's a carriage bolt that goes through here, so you're actually tightening those bolts down to make sure that it is sturdy and feels sturdy, but you lose the quick adjustability of it when you actually want to change it. So if you have multiple different people who are going to use this mower, you'll have to get out a 13mm wrench or a 1/2 inch and adjust it via 2 bolts. Now most people aren't going to adjust it more than once. They're going to kind of set it up for themselves and forget it. So I can see where it's not needed, and if you're spending $1,700 on a mower, you're going to want that very sturdy feeling, and you definitely have it. Now what that brings with it is the lack of storage, where a lot of battery operated mowers, you don't have to worry about any oils or fuels, so you can tip them up and put them in multiple different places and stow them away without taking up a lot of room. In this case, that simply can't happen unless you were to unbolt everything, which you could in the wintertime, and then stand it up, and it would work just fine that way. But it takes a lot more work than some of the other mowers that are on the market. So while you might be thinking this mower is actually quite expensive, I think it does have a good market for multiple different people. First, if you're in an area where you have to have something that is not loud and you want a very high quality mower, maybe even in a commercial line, I think this is one of the first few that are out there that I could see saying, yes, this durability wise is going to hold up to use in a commercial environment. And I mean somebody abusing it, not just saying it can go out and be used there every day. Someone could abuse this and you're not going to have any problems with it falling apart like you would a lot of the other less expensive or even expensive battery operated mowers on the market. This one is going to take the abuse. 2, someone who wants their lawn cut absolutely perfectly without the noise and on battery power is set up perfectly right here. You have 2 batteries, so you can go out, cut upwards an acre of grass on those 2 batteries, which is plenty enough that anyone's going to want to push. You have your self-propulsion, you have a solid deck, and you have an amazing cut quality down there that is going to do everything you need it to, be it bag or just to be it mulch. That is here and ready to go. So for that high-level prosumer, you have everything that you'd like to see right here, one package. You don't have to buy more batteries, and everything comes with a good warranty from a brand that has proven that they can create good lawnmowers for a very long time. If you're just out looking for a battery operated lawnmower, you really have to really dig deep to say, why do I want to spend this amount of money? And that's why I always go back to recommending some of them from the tool brands, because then you can use those other batteries on tools. And in this case, the person I'd recommend this mower to is probably not going to have a lot of those tools, or if they have a lot of the tools, they don't care if they're in that same battery platform, because they want an extreme cut quality. They want one of the best mowers that are out there, and that is what this guy is. Guys, leave some questions, some comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. Enjoy the spring here. We're finally getting some nice days in Michigan. I hope you guys are too. Again, we always appreciate you watching the video. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.